Let me ask you something that might feel a little uncomfortable. Have you ever noticed that the harder you push, the more effort you apply, the more disciplined you become, the more stuck you actually feel? You're doing everything right. You're working longer hours, you're setting goals, you're investing in coaching and courses, self-development. You're telling yourself, if I just try harder, I'll get there. And yet, your energy is flat. Your creativity feels muted. Your body is tense. Your nervous system never really settles. Here's the hard truth, my beautiful people. No one told you. Pushing harder doesn't create growth. It often creates resistance. And today, I want to unpack why pushing harder is actually limiting your growth, not from a mindset perspective alone, but from the biology of your nervous system, your stress response, and the deeper intelligence of your body. Because growth doesn't happen through force, it happens through regulation. We live inside a cultural myth, believe it or not, that success is built on hustle, willpower, grinding through resistance, overriding your body. And for a while, yeah, it works for sure, especially for high capacity, intelligent, driven leaders like yourself. But here's what happens biologically. When you live in constant push mode, your body interprets pressure as threat, not metaphorically, literally. When you push past fatigue, when you override rest, when you ignore emotional signals, your nervous system shifts into sympathetic dominance. And that's the stress response. Adrenaline, cortisol, shallow breathing, tunnel vision, hyper focus without perspective. You become productive, but narrow focused, but reactive, driven, but disconnected. This is why pushing harder often leads to burnout, decision fatigue, emotional numbness, loss of intuition, creativity blocks, inconsistent follow through. Your system is surviving, not expanding. Here's the science most leaders actually don't know. And leadership conversations leave out. The brain does not optimize for growth, it actually optimizes for safety. When your nervous system feels unsafe, blood flow prioritizes survival functions, right? The prefrontal cortex, the clarity, creativity, the vision goes offline. The body conserves energy even if you're doing more. So you might be working harder, but your capacity to receive growth is actually shrinking. This is why you keep repeating the same patterns. You self sabotage right before breakthroughs. You hit invisible ceilings despite effort. Because growth requires integration, not intensity. And integration only happens when the nervous system feels regulated. This is where breathwork changes the conversation. Your breath is not just oxygen, it is a signal. Every breath you take is communicating with your nervous system. We're safe. We're we're under threat. Remember, your breath is the nervous system, the remote control for your nervous system. So it can either signal that we're okay, we're supported, we're safe, or we're under threat when we're breathing fast, shallow, upper chest driven, without any pauses. The body stays in push mode. But when breathing becomes slower, rhythmic, diaphragmatic, right, from that belly area, balance between inhales and exhales, the nervous system receives permission to expand. This is why leaders who learn to regulate their breath make clear decisions, lead with presence instead of pressure, recover faster from stress. They can access intuition and creativity, build sustainable performance. And don't we all want that? Not because they're doing less, but because they're working with their biology, not against it. Let's reframe the leadership model, please. It is time for that because the old model is push through discomfort, override these signals, right? Measure worth by output, use stress as fuel. The new model that I'm advocating, and I hope that you're with me on this, is to regulate first, respond instead of react, measure success by sustainability, use presence as power. When you regulate your nervous system, you don't need to force motivation. You don't need to chase discipline. You don't micromanage yourself or even others. Your system naturally organizes towards growth. This is what embodied leadership looks like. And it starts with the breath. I want to invite you into a moment of honesty. Ask yourself, where in my life am I pushing? When my system is actually asking for regulation? Where am I forcing outcomes instead of creating conditions for growth? Where am I measuring success by effort instead of alignment? And these, my beautiful friends, are not mindset questions. They're nervous system questions. Questions that we have not been taught to ask ourselves or our teams to help regulate our nervous system so that we can be better leaders and lead better within not just our teams, but just even ourselves, self-leadership. So here's what I want to leave you with. Growth is not something you chase. It's something that emerges when the body feels safe enough to expand. You don't need more discipline. You don't need to push harder. We're not at the gym here. I am not your personal trainer telling you to push harder. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to regulate. Well, you do need to regulate your nervous system. When you lead from your breath, you're leading from your presence. You're leading from your nervous system intelligence, that innate intelligence. And this allows you not to burn out, not to plateau, and most importantly, you don't lose yourself on the way to success, which so many of us have done in the past. You grow sustainably, intelligently, and fully. So next time you feel stuck, don't ask, how can I push harder? Ask, how can I create safety for growth? Because the most powerful leaders don't force expansion. They actually breathe into it. Follow my guided meditations to help restore diaphragmatic breathing. So then you're properly breathing so that you can become the leader that you are meant to be. Thank you. Please share this video with someone who may really benefit from this information. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can come across more videos like these. Hope they were helpful. Ciao for now.